soup kitchen, I'd hear this guy laughing so loud that the room would be shaking. And I was like, who the hell is that guy? That's John Sinclair. Oh my God. So we were introduced when we became friends, and we bonded real heavily around blues music, jazz music, collecting records. Just, we were like both music nerds. And so then he got me in a band called the Urbations as their drummer, and we went on the road, and we had some amazing adventures in John's little van, little Chrysler minivan. I'm sure Lenny remembers that little white van, and we called it the Calypso after Jacques Cousteau, and we kind of thought, John was like our Jacques Cousteau. And anyway, we'd take off, and we'd go like either east or west or south. Played in New York and everywhere, and we'd go out to Lincoln, Nebraska, and get the invite to have dinner with William Burroughs. Or we'd go to New York and we'd get the invite to have dinner with Giorgio Gomleski, who managed the Yardbirds, and everybody wanted to meet John. So it was really cool to roll with him. And of course, I'd sit shotgun in the van and just feed him the Sun Ra, the Coltrane, the Archie Shepp cassettes. And he would set 6 rolled joints in the ashtray. It'd be dark out, we'd be wearing sunglasses. And then it got really fun, because then he would put these Hostess Twinkie-like things on the dashboard called zingers, and he'd line them up. He'd have 4 packs of Barclay cigarettes, he'd put them up in the visor, and then he would pop out his dentures and put them in the visor. And he'd go, hit it. Anyway, we bonded on music. We went to New Orleans together. We did all kinds of things. And I had a radio show for 18 years called the Big City Blues Cruise in Ann Arbor and Ypsilanti area. And he was a constant guest. And he brought Dr. John on my show 3 times, which was like, what?
1965, wow. And he and 2 of his step siblings published the first issue, and it looked like that was it. In his memoir and other places, Harvey very frequently credits me and my wife, Marilyn Werbe, with saving it. Actually, it was John and Lenny that did it. I don't think Marilyn and I began working on the 50th State until the 7th, 8th, 9th issue. But by the 2nd issue, there was John's column, the Coat Puller. There were Lenny's photographs showing these amazing anti-war demonstrations as early as 1966 that made up the cover. You remember that one? It was printed on pink paper for some reason or other. I don't know. You don't remember? Wow. Okay. Here, I just. Yeah. Okay. But anyway, at some point, Harvey had the idea that we should move to this artificially constructed hippie street called Plum Street. I said, man, we're not going to leave the corridor. This is where our people are. This is where the artist workshop. This is where all these guys are. And he, I don't know, I mean, it was kind of his paper. So we went down there, and John and Lenny had an apartment upstairs. Is that correct? Yeah. Okay, good. And John had been busted for marijuana, convicted, and served 6 months in the Detroit House of Corrections, known as back then as DeHoco, right? Okay, so one day, and down on the first floor were the offices of the Fifth Estate, and there was also a bookstore. And John and Lenny brought in these magazines that, again, turning people on, pulling people's coat, to ideas and music and culture and poetry that none of us had ever heard from before. So one day, I don't know, God, did I really keep a 9 to 5? Is that me? Oh yeah. This is an alarm, it's not a call. It says, Peter, take your medicine or you will die. So I gotta read this quickly. So, anyways, so I got down there at 9 o'clock, and John comes storming downstairs. And those of you, and all of us, remember him when he was I mean, he was this physical force. I mean, he would just blast into a room, and he came running downstairs and said, "You got to read this, man. This is the best thing I've ever written." And he was half laughing and half crying, and I thought, "Whoa, what's going on?" I said, "Well, read it to me, okay?" So he began reading. Okay. Warner Stringfellow, Detective Lieutenant, Detroit Narcotics Squad, who has been single-handedly responsible for busting me on 2 separate occasions for possessing and selling marijuana, and who stumbled into my new apartment last night by accident. Over a year since the last time he saw me, and 2 years to the day after he first busted me. Warner, you're living in another century. This new one started while you were running around in circles, chasing dangerous criminals to keep the city safe from marijuana and people like me. I know who you are, you told me last night. And when I get you again, you ain't getting off so easy. I'll drown you, you worthless prick, he said. But it won't be so easy next time, Warner, if there is a next time, because this whole new thing is getting so far out of your clutches, you don't even know what it is, except you can sense it with what senses you have left. You know somehow that things ain't what they used to be, that this world is changing so fast you haven't even got a place in it no more. Your old-time power and control have no place in this world, Warner, and as long as you keep trying to hang on to them, you'll just get farther and farther behind until you die, Warner, until you're dead. Not too long ago, Warner, I would have done anything just to get my hands around your neck and choke you to death. But that time has passed. There's no need for it. You'll die anyway. Anything will when it stops growing, and there's no need for it anymore in the world. There's no need for you now, Warner, though it may take 20 years before you or the people you have made it your life to lie to find out your uselessness and criminality. You can't make me a criminal, Warner. You should know that by now. And your prisons and courts don't scare me anymore. I know what you are, and I don't hate you anymore. I won't let you trap me in that tiny little bag of yours. I won't respond the way you have to have me respond. Because it's too late for that now, Warner. It's just too damn late for those games. The whole fucking universe is right there in front of our eyes, and it's all I can do to stay open to it now while it's still my time. Even the 6 months you got me in your prison, Warner, only made me stronger and less afraid of the puny fear traps that are your only tool. And what are you going to do, Lieutenant Stringfellow, when you have to try to arrest all the people younger than I am who smoke marijuana every day and don't care about you at all? When you come to bust them, all they'll do is laugh in your face. You're so funny. You come on like someone on your TV set. All that 1930s shit or 1950s. The century changed in 1960. You're as out of date as the House Un-American Activities Committee who tried to scare the young cats in 1966. And these cats showed up wearing Revolutionary War costumes, laughing at you. It's 1966, Warner. There's nothing to fear. Even your jails, except your jails, and they'll fall soon. They've fallen now. They don't mean anything anymore. And even if you kill us all off, ain't no big thing, Warner. We just get born again, more and more aware of what's really happening in the universe. But it's too late to kill us all. You missed your chance in 1959, before the whole thing really started. You've been playing that funny shit for 2,000 years, and all you've got is a gun and a badge and a house in a nice neighborhood and a car and a TV set, and you can't even talk to your kids. They just don't want to hear it. You send them to psychiatrists, and they go over to somebody's house and smoke reefer. Listen to the fugs. and John Coltrane and Sun Ra, and don't even think about you until they have to go home. And what a drag that is. Warner going home to their atrophied parents who are dying in their living room chairs, watching Batman on TV and dancing the Frug with Jackie Kennedy in their dreams. What kind of life have you got, Warner, when you have to sit and think about me for over 2 years and I'm 25 now? What are you going to do with all these fucking kids who are crazier than I am and don't care what you do? You ain't nothing to them. And in 4 years, Warner, half the U.S. population will be under 25 years of age. You're hooked, Warner Stringfellow. You're strung out. You've shot so much of that dope in your head, that shit that Harry Anslinger and Hoover sold you, but all it is junk, Warner, and you can't keep selling people junk forever. They get hip to you and they don't want any more of it. They've had enough. They want something real, Warner, and you just ain't got it to give to them. They don't care about titles no more, Warner. A lieutenant ain't nothing but a cop, and a cop ain't shit. They want to see who Warner Stringfellow is and what he does with himself. That badge and title ain't gonna fool nobody no more, not like it has. They'll do like I do and call you by your given name. That's all any man needs. You won't get me, Warner, even if you lock me up again, because you're the one who's trapped in all that Aristotelian bullshit. The world is not black and white, it's all colors, Warner, and all you need to do is open your eyes and see it. And I hope you do. You're a man too. All of us are, and man is made to be free, and women. I love you like I do any natural-born man, but you got to be a man, Warner, not a cop. You've got to open yourself up or be shut off completely, as you are now, from the world of human beings. Come on out of that jail, Warner. Let your criminals go. You've just trapped them in your silly bag, and there's no need for those games. We're all lovely and free, Warner. We're all human beings, and nothing you can do can ever change the universe. I get up to change the record. Eric Dolphy's out to lunch. It's 7 in the morning. The world changes too. It moves farther away from where you are. My wife turns over in bed. She's probably dreaming about you. You put her in jail too, but only overnight. And you took her man away for 6 whole months. We celebrated our first anniversary while I was in your jail, and it only made us stronger and more together than before. You see how puny your bullshit punishments are? And now we'll bring our own baby into the world and see what it can do for you, even though you want to wipe out its father even before it's born. And my wife feels sorry for you, Warner, just to show you what you're up against with us. She really won't play your silly hate games. The poor man, she says, he must spend all of his time thinking of how he'll get us. Doesn't he have anything better to do with his time? And what can you do with her, Warner? Shoot her? Lock her up? The problem is, what are you going to do with yourself, Warner Stringfellow? Let me leave you with that. What will you be in 5 years, Warner? An inspector like poor, stupid Jimmy Fike at the House of Corrections? Why don't you quit playing games, Warner, and grow up to be a man like the rest of us? This is the story you wanted us to write about you, Warner, the one you asked me about again last night, and it's the best I can do. I hope you can hear it. Love always.